Hey everyone, welcome back to Iraqi dinar updates, the channel where we keep our eyes wide open on what's really happening on the surface and behind the scenes. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button because you're not going to want to miss what we're covering today. Now, something's stirring. And while most of the world isn't paying attention, we are. Today, we're talking about what could be a major indicator that Iraq is stepping into a new chapter, one that could involve not just financial reform, but technological and global integration on a whole new level. Let's get into it. So here's the thing. Over the last few months, we've seen meetings, talks, and visits happening quietly, but if you really stop and connect the dots, these aren't just routine check-ins. These are moves that suggest big players are positioning themselves early. And by big players, I mean mega corporations. First, it was Facebook representatives having a sit-down with the Iraqi Prime Minister. And now, it's Elon Musk's SpaceX showing up in the headlines, linked to Iraq. Now let's pause for a second. We're not talking about just any business meeting here. These aren't just tech reps doing a regional tour. These are direct meetings with top government officials in Iraq. That's not a coincidence. Facebook doesn't send people to just shake hands. And SpaceX, they don't make casual appearances unless there's something serious on the table. So the question becomes, why Iraq, and why now? Let's think about this logically. Iraq has oil. That's no secret. But the country has been heavily reliant on oil revenues for years. If they're looking to pivot, to diversify, to attract international investment and tech infrastructure, then these meetings start to make sense. We're talking about partnerships that go way beyond just business. This could be about building a new digital and technological framework for the country, and if that's the case, then trust me, big money is involved. Think about the implications if Iraq were to become a digital hub in the region. That's access to millions of users, a young population hungry for technology, and untapped potential in both infrastructure and innovation. Facebook and SpaceX could see Iraq not just as a country with resources, but as a partner in future global development. And let's not forget SpaceX's core product is Starlink. High-speed satellite internet with the ability to cover remote and underserved areas. Sound familiar? Iraq has massive potential for growth in communication infrastructure, especially in rural and post-conflict zones. If SpaceX sets up Starlink services in Iraq, it could provide high-speed internet to areas that have been disconnected for years. That's not just a technological upgrade, that's economic transformation. Now, I know what some people are thinking, okay, but what does this have to do with the Iraqi dinar or its value? Here's where it gets interesting. When international corporations start stepping in and investing millions, sometimes billions, it adds legitimacy to the country's economy. It builds trust. It means they see potential, and they're willing to put their money where their mouth is. These kinds of moves don't happen in unstable environments. You don't see Facebook or Elon Musk gambling in failing economies. If they're showing up, it's because they know or they've been assured that reforms are in motion. Maybe it's policy, maybe it's infrastructure, maybe it's even currency reform. We don't know exactly what's being said behind closed doors, but we do know that big tech doesn't make moves without a long-term roadmap. And let's not ignore the timing. All of this is happening as Iraq continues to hint at economic reforms, development projects, and an effort to move away from a purely cash-based, oil-dependent system. That's the kind of transformation that eventually requires a more functional, more valuable, and more globally connected currency. So yes, while the meetings themselves are important, it's what they represent that really matters. They're signals. Signals that the world is beginning to take Iraq seriously again, and not as a conflict zone, but as a partner in global progress. And if you're watching the dinar, watching the news, and paying attention to the pattern, you can't ignore it. Now, of course, we don't want to speculate wildly. Just because SpaceX and Facebook are meeting with Iraq doesn't mean an overnight explosion in currency value. But what it does mean is that there's movement. Strategic movement. And when you see major international corporations show interest in a country that's been on the sidelines for so long, you better believe something is happening behind the curtains. So the next time someone tells you that Iraq isn't making progress, or that the dinar isn't going anywhere, remind them of this. Remind them that Facebook and SpaceX don't knock on just any door. They knock when they see opportunity. And Iraq may be getting ready to answer with the brand new future. That's it for today's video. If this gave you something to think about and maybe confirmed what you've been feeling lately, go ahead and hit that like button. Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Do you think these visits are signs of major change? Or are we still early in the game? Either way, make sure to subscribe to Iraqi dinar updates. Say we're here to track these moves, follow the money, and help you see the bigger picture. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay sharp, stay informed, and as always keep your eyes on the dinar.